Welcome back to Coloring Through the Bible. My name is Keegan Harkins, and today we're going to be talking about being the salt of the earth. In Matthew chapter 5, verse 13, Jesus says, "You are the salt of the earth." It's something that we've maybe heard before, but it's kind of a weird statement. If you think about, the salt that's on your dinner table, you think, well, I guess I add a little bit of spice to life, but, I'm not quite sure. But there's so many uses for salt, and if you've ever heard this is kind of a subject that gets talked about a lot, and people talk about how salt preserves things. You can dry and cure meat with salt and make it last for much longer. Salt is super useful. Where I live, when it gets cold and icy and like -70 below zero, they sprinkle salt on the road, and it keeps the ice from building up. It keeps us safe. There's a lot of uses for salt. It can clean a wound. If you've ever gotten a sore throat and you've gargled with salt water, it doesn't feel real good, but it does help you heal. It cleans it out. It helps you get better and heal quickly. There's a lot of benefits for salt, and we can talk about all of that stuff. But I kind of think it's been done before. But the best thing that I've heard about this verse, actually I heard Wednesday while I was at Wednesday night church, and pastor made a comment about how salt is only useful when it gets out of the box. And that just really struck me. We are the salt of the earth. Now, if we read this Matthew chapter 5, verse 13, I want to read it to you really quick, because that's what we're basing this on. So it says, "You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It's no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled by men." So God's talking about, he goes on to talk about us being a light and how you wouldn't light a lamp and put it under a basket or hide it away. So Jesus is telling us that we're meant to invoke change. Salt changes what it comes in contact with. Light changes the atmosphere. It chases away the darkness. We are created to make a difference in this world. But no amount of saltiness or brightness can do anything until it gets out of the box. If you light and turn on a flashlight and then you stick it in a box, you're not going to see anything. If you want to preserve that meat or melt that ice, and I can just picture, like my kids doing it. Tell them to go out and put salt on the ice on the front steps. If they were just to walk and take that box of salt and just set it on the steps, it's not going to do any good. If they sprinkle it on the ice really quickly, in just a matter of minutes, you're going to start to see these rings where the ice is melting around every little drop of salt as it hits the cement. Salt has to come in contact to make a change in this world. So how are we getting out of our box? How are we making contact with the world around us? All of us is going to be totally different in different ways. We all come in contact with people. We all, have jobs, or go to the grocery store, or go to school, or have friends and neighbors. None of us live in a bubble. So we all have opportunities to touch that salt, to touch that light into the darkness. Are we using it? Are we being used by God? I love the analogy of the salt more than the light for this instance, because when you take salt and you use it, you have to pour it out. Are you pouring your life out to make a difference in this world? That's how we use salt. You have to shake the shaker for it to add flavor to the dish. You have to sprinkle it amongst the ice for it to start changing things. How are we pouring our lives out to be used by God? I just want to challenge you today to look and examine your life and look for ways that you can pour yourself into the lives of those around you. How can you be a blessing to people? How can you share the gospel or live the gospel? That's what's super important. We can have so many words. I can make a million videos, but if all I do is talk and I don't actually connect with people if I'm just staying in my box and shouting from inside my box, hey, Jesus saves, I'm maybe going to affect somebody who's passing by and hears it. But how am I really going to change the world? Is by letting God pour me out, by mingling and making a change with everybody that I touch, touching their lives for God. I don't know if you've heard that song that says that, we are God's hands and His feet. So if we are the body of Christ, why aren't our hands reaching? Why aren't our feet going? Why aren't our words speaking? If we are the body of Christ and we are the salt of the earth, then we need to look for ways to move on His behalf, to bring Him glory, to bring change, to chase the darkness from the lives of the people around us. So I want to encourage you today to go out, make some changes, be the salt, be the light, and make sure that this world is completely different because you lived. Thanks for spending some time with me today. I'm so excited to get to see you guys. I love it. I love the comments that you guys leave and the emails that you send me. It just makes me so happy to get to know all of you guys and to get to connect with you. I'm so glad that you spent some time with me. Until we see each other again, have a truly, truly blessed day.